Ladies and gents, welcome back to the channel. It is that time. Quarterfinals upon us. And two very familiar faces. Core on the Mongols, who on the ladder has just been practicing or being practiced against with some very funky TC rush builds. Could it be his time with the Mongols here? Or will it be the Chinese reigning supreme with B himself? It's going to be a fun one, actually. A classic matchup. One that once upon a time favored Mongols. In recent years has definitely been Chinese favored. Let's see if Prairie changes anything at all. A very exposed and open map between these two to kick off this BO5 here in midweek muster number 14. Crazy to say that out loud. 14 weeks we've been doing this now. 14 weeks! I'm wondering if I'm going to still have my hair by the end, actually. Because we've still got half of them left to do. That's crazy. Hopefully people have been enjoying what we've been delivering, though. I mean, 30 weeks of esports content. Fingers crossed we're able to kind of hit the metrics that Microsoft would see as a success, and I'd view as a success too. We definitely had some entertaining games. I'd say some of the best competitive games we've had have actually happened in these weeklies as opposed to even the major tournaments in some cases. Definitely some of the most meaningful games in there along the way. But this almost feels like a meme to try and do against Chinese now. Spim and Rush coming in from Core. Interesting choice. Did he like delay his timing slightly so that B wouldn't realize? I mean, Sheephole is looking better for Core as well. Tries to get cheeky there, but yeah, the Khan damage is way too low to snipe. There might have been a world in which B could have body blocked the Khan there. I'm not sure if that was actually worth stopping off to attack. Has slowed down his rotation slightly. And I believe that Rax play is going to get scoured fairly early. The two Spearmen not in position yet on the back goal. In fact, they've got a wide rotation they have to make happen. What I think Core was aiming for here was a subtle subtle outpost rush, rather, on the back tree line. Unfortunately, now that the scout has ran past and seen the Rax, B's going to be all too aware of what's going to happen here. Or what at least Core was going to attempt to make happen. So we'll be out into the gold right now. Needs to start rushing out into it, because at this stage, he did go for the Imperial Official. It's not as imperative that you get 235 gold, but you're still going to want to try and get some active gold gathering in there for an efficient tech timing. It's just the beginning of the journey. Jesus, now I'm definitely going to end up going bald from this. Cool. Oh, where was he going? Wait, but how did the village... So many questions. I mean, one, where was the Spearman going? And what the hell was that pass through on the villager? God, has to be molding at that. B, I thought we had a little bit more gold coming in than this. This is quite underwhelming, actually. Deerstone already in the way. A good start for Core. Interesting choice there, by the way. Didn't go Silver Tree, but I think the current meta is the hardest one to go Silver Tree in. Do you remember, in the current meta, people actively add in stables early on because of Pro Scouts, which means they can get Horsemen to counter your trade. I think that's a big part of why, like, even on a map like this, Core is not interested in going trade. So B, actually countering the spear player with a spear play of his own. Interesting. Trade is dead. Oh, on a map like this, trade has always been a, like, classic part. It's just the current Pro Scouts meta already set someone up to block you. That's the problem. Like, if Pro Scouts gets fixed, gets tweaked, gets rebalanced, so that not every game is someone opening with a stables play, then you will see Pro Scouts, you will see trade rather return. Imperial Academy now coming in. I wish this thing would get nerfed, though. Just feels too good still. We were rambling about it a little bit earlier today. I think it's a fair point. Like, Imperial Academy is a top 3 landmark. I wonder if we're ever going to get, like, a rebalancing of that. Like, Arkan, Imperial Academy. Maybe we just go the different way and we buff everything this week. Like, substantially. I'd kind of be up for that. Just flip the table on the meta. Probably not going to happen in, like, too soon of a time span, right? Like, we don't know exactly when the DLC is coming, but I imagine they'll focus DLC first and then maybe spring cleaning, or rather a spring refreshment patch afterwards for a lot of civs that underperformed or landmarks that underperformed. And in general, I just like the idea of these drastic changes. I know it can have like a kind of neck snapping because we're moving too fast feeling sometimes. But like I think that's always going to exist no matter what you try to do, right? People are going to have elements they'll always be unfamiliar with because people always gravitate towards learning X, Y, or Z that they like playing. Not everything in the game. Only the pro players have to worry about that. So it looks like B was actually paranoid that it was going to be trade. Really? He didn't check. I mean, going for the Horseman isn't terrible here. He's going to be going Pro Scouts. So, like, realistically, although the Horseman may seem somewhat wasted, it's going to be worth it to secure the deer. On top of that, he's going to need it against the Mangudai. Mangudai is solid read by Core. Remember, Mangudai are actually a counter to Pro Scouts. A very powerful counter at that. Just the ability to chase a running away target. Like, it just makes sense, right? Remember when we interviewed Wham and he talked about this a little bit, like he thought Mongols was maybe being slept on. Like this opening Mangudai play just seems very oppressive in the current meta. It's a little bit more difficult on this map. Reason being is there's way too many deer stacks. Like in some ways, this may be of the worst map you could have chosen Mangudai to block Pro Scouts on. Where do you target? Where do you block? This is the thing that's smart about B's read. Like, usually just trying to spam Horseman and Mangudai doesn't feel great. But because you know your opponent, if he wants to block all the Pro Scouts play, can't keep the Mangudai together, Horseman can actually win. Other thing is we have to remember that Core didn't go for Silver Tree. So it has kind of left him a little bit weaker in his ability to keep pumping these. It's very pricey at 60 gold per. He definitely needs to add in more horsemen. Either that or you go archers. Archers very difficult on this map. Another reason why actually the Mangudai is very smart. Anything that's wood-based is going to be harder to leverage on a map with so little wood. Well, I say so little wood and then we look at the center of the map, but most areas of the map. Is it me, or is Core getting slightly baited? I'm glad he realized. That was getting awkward. That was well played by B. Just trying to make space so he can sneak out in other locations. Someone on the other scouts is going to get found. The Yam aura allowed him to chase down. The new speed arrow as well. That scout is also dead. Unless he drops. B, however, does have other sources coming home. And you can see what the target is. He's priming for Castle Age. Core needs to find some kills. Tries the dive. Doesn't quite get anything. Hankin's now also on the way. Horsemen, weirdly enough, were trying to block the Deerstone. Ended up fighting up against Spears. So not a great engagement there by B. But he at least dodged death with the villagers. And that's more important here. On top of that, we do have additional deer on the way home. Starting to feel like Core maybe didn't block enough here. This is tricky, though. We mentioned on this map, there's just so many options. Your opponent has, what is it? I think it's 9 different deer stack locations to aim for. Which is just insane to say out loud. Mangudai OP? I haven't won the game. Are you watching a different game? Because 10 Mangudai is going to struggle to dive a TC. Especially if B just like ungarrisons half his villages on the north side when the raid comes south and then gets the others inside. Outpost is going to get targeted here. Fortification's on the way, but quite slow actually. Credit to him, Core actually found the perfect timing here. Fortification's going to be way too late. Okay, so B, what production you have is what you will have. Nothing more. However, this is easy peasy. Do you want to know what the counter to Mangudai is? Do you want to know what stops a Mangudai dive? 1 nest of bees. Now, he will have to trade to get the wood for that. But if it stops an entire army, it's worth it. Core is all in, though. We have siege engineering following this up. Smart move. the full production. If he takes out the racks and the stables, B's dead. So all he really needs. Can I just, hey, do you mind if I just, excuse me? I'm concentrating, can you stop? He might be there a while. He still has so much food. 14 sheep. We do have traders now from Core. Ambitious. Has got a ball play coming in. Spearman just scout. He left it here the whole time. Are you kidding me? So he now knows when he's producing lances that trade's happening. The mass lancers might be problematic against the forward aura, is my only worry here. You're going to get kited. What B actually needs is one Nest of Bees. Nest of Bees changes everything. The longer he doesn't build one, the worse it kind of gets. Exactly because of this. It's death by 1,000 cuts. Spinmen aren't going to dive in, though. That's an overextension by Core. However, the villagers weren't shuffled around optimally. Lancer's horsemen need to intercept to protect the rest. So Mangudai drive-by. It only gets one worker kill. Tries to go for the Imperial officials. Finds a second in time. The villagers are now scrambling. But they're going to survive as well. This is all without textiles, by the way. Are you actually kidding me? He only gets 2 worker kills with a Mangudai dive of +10 against no textiles. And I mean, just look at the health bars after the fact, right? Like, we got some injuries there, but not many deaths. I think that was also 2 Imperial officials, if I'm not mistaken. So no real villager kills to speak of. Maybe 1. Core losing a lot of momentum now. B kind of close to the point where he can start raiding with these lancers in a game where Core is really just living his economy wide, living life with open arms, shall we say, waiting to receive the pain. Trade has at least been secured now on Core. Up to 9, actually. He's inflating quite quickly. B is being a little bit reluctant on his timing here. Finally marching out. Kind of problematic, though. This delay has allowed Core to start to reblob Mangudai. Other important thing, these outposts buff him, remember. Mangudai are going to move faster. Yam, the Deerstone basically means that everything is affected, right? Villagers will be able to run away. Cavalry by default already has it. So, with that in mind, you know, might be a little bit tricky to try and actually kill anything here. Like this switch up though, B going archers. It's kind of funny that we're not seeing Zhuge Nu against Mass Mangudai. One thing that does make it awkward, of course, is the Khan Hunter. Giving that extra range. So like currently, his Mangudai should be going up to like, what, 4.5 tile range? Gunner boys. Anger reaction is coming, Lancers. We'll reach you soon. Soon-ish, maybe. Soon. Wow, what? Core is going Kurtai? That I didn't really expect. Kurtai is intriguing here. I mean, Mass Mangudai can benefit, but the problem usually is Mangudai move too quick. So this only makes sense for a stationary fight. I think the logic for Core is trying to contest the Archer comp that's coming next. These assume is coming next. So like this will give him an ability to kind of stand his ground. Traders are still getting cut down though. Remember like, what, a minute and a half ago? Is it 9 traders? Now it's 7. Oh, come, no, B, that's... That's a brutal misclick. The Mangudai though, wait, what? Okay, both of them just kind of committing sins there. Kind of balances things out. We do have monks now on the way from China, so B is looking onto those relics. All right, 1s if you think Core's going to win this game. 2s if you think B is. Definitely feels like a little bit of a scrappy game. And Core definitely has to answer for the archers as well. You can't use mangoes to address that either because you have Mangudai. So you can't use something that wants to kite when it needs to stand still. Right, this is the thing about mass Mangudaiing like this. It contradicts the other element you need. Not just that. Is this Yuan? Yuan's kind of sick, actually. You're playing relics or pagodas, but the other logic is the movement speed allows you to gap close Mangudai quite easily. I actually rate Yuan pretty highly. Like, sneaking in again. This is Mongols on the defense, right? Like, he hasn't attacked, really, in the last few minutes. He's been reacting on the flanks. Hasn't found a dive point into the enemy base at all. We do have Berry sneak out as well. It's very far out of the way. Unlikely to be seen. Actually... Oh, no. Guys, that one deer is eventually going to reveal core here. Oh, my God. Oh, this has turned into a bit of a massacre. Core only with 4 traders now. Archer's now starting to arrive. The problem is that Kurtai, like, when is it going to be in these fights? Kurtai would have made sense for Core if he was heading down the center. But because B has made this about the flanks, the Kurtai is kind of worthless. It's never really being in the fights because B is doing a good job of just dodging the death. Right, where Kurtai goes, he never does. So worth. Especially when you remember these traders are full price, no silver tree. I mean, at this stage, B could very much go Yuan. It would make sense. He's floating so much surplus resource right now. It's kind of wild. Either build additional production or take the age. Now we're camping on the Kurtai? That's even wilder. The fact that he's just standing next to this thing, like, this should be where Core is confident about his ability to fight. Just doesn't feel that way, with the archers just having more range still. Kind of makes you wish you went for your own archers, right? That would actually have given you the range advantage. Kind of like a mini longbow. All you can do is just stare, though. Upside, you know, the berries on the flank haven't been exposed. Downsides, you're losing control of your base. Your opponent is going to have 5 relics. He also has Barbican coming. God, this is just getting out of control now. Yeah, Mass Mangudai back to the meme. It's not so viable in this situation. Really comes back to that dive, though. I think B just done a great job of min-maxing where he positioned his cavalry to absorb a lot of the auto Mangudai fire. If it wasn't for that, it probably would have been 5-6 worker kills at least on that dive. Then you have a very different game. Then now this looks over. Keshiks, sorry, Lancers are going to be diving in. If only Core had some Keshiks. Aren't the Mongols the aggressive Civ? Yes, they're aggressively losing this game. Well, apparently they're looking to posture that aggression. Who's likely to do more damage, though? Oh, no. This is the thing. Like, a map like Prairie, we mentioned how Pro Scouts is hard to block wide, but also it's hard to flank raid. Like, your opponent is all over the place with vision. To get seen, and look at this. B's already in position for the dive. Deets, claw to the punchline. It's going to force him all the way home. Sprint and placement should prove to be a nuisance, but you can't fortify these bad boys. They're going to be torched down. And remember, the Kurtai is here. It's away from the current fight. Oh, look at that. Mangudai are ready to fight on the wrong side. They don't have the buff. No, what? What was that? And can I refund it?